You're listening to the Studio PTBO podcast, where we talk all things marketing to help you build and grow your business online. Welcome to the latest episode. Welcome to the Studio PTBO podcast. We are back at it again with not another guest, but we have something important we want to talk about today. We want to talk, we have quite a few topics. Neil, how you doing today?
Good, man. We have so many topics that you actually have pulled out a sticky note.
I know, I needed to.
I feel like you're getting to be like, the closer you get to 30, the more you get to be like old man Cody.
Oh.
And like, once you start to hit the boomer years.
My memory is going down.
Yeah, once you hit the boomer years, you got to put stickies like all over, like wake up, brush teeth.
It's funny that you say that because but if you know me, you know the idea that I've always had a bad memory and I always had to write things down.
No, I don't really know much about you.
Yeah, I know clearly you don't.
You're my business partner, but I don't know. I know you're from Chatham and that you like social media.
Yeah, well,
and you like California. So you're just back recently.
Yeah.
Tell people about that. You were in San Diego at a Brendon Burchard conference. Who is that guy and what did he teach you?
Yeah, Brendon Burchard, man, he's a high performance coach. He spent 20 years studying neurology, science, psychology, really helping people really with the habits that they essentially need to create in their lives in order to live a high performance life. So a lot of what he talks about is what are the things that you can automate, delegate, or remove in your life that aren't getting you any closer to your future vision or your future hope for your life. So we learned so many different things, like one of the things that we learned was done by one, but essentially about either automating, delegating, or removing tasks that aren't getting you any closer to your dreams. And essentially 60% of the needle moving activity should be done by one. And like that's relative to whatever your 1 o'clock is. My 1 o'clock is 3 o'clock.
Yeah, totally.
Office until 11. But that being said, it's like all the needle moving activities for me get done from 11 to 3 because those are the things where I'm on my A game. And I that's part of the reason when I walk into the studio on Wednesday and Thursday now, we're doing podcasts.
Right.
Because it's the first thing I do. It fuels me up. And strategically, it's something that, I've created. And Brendon Burchard is just really amazing. Give him a shout out for everything. He's really helped me understand on a deeper level systems, processes, and just mindset.
Cool, man. And have you already implemented changes from that
100%.
Conference? Like, it feels like you have literally within 3 days. You were texting me from there going, dude, I think we should do this or that. Like, we were already sort of handed off a little more to Jairus. Yep. Even on the show, like, we've made Jairus the producer of the show now. Like, we used to sort of take everything on, but we're like, well, Jairus can do it. He's awesome at that. So we're learning to empower other people more 100%. Too, right?
And I love how you use that word empower because that's ultimately where good management starts. I look at all my past managers or all my past bosses in the past. They really unleashed the power of the people. It was actually when I was in corporate America, one of the values that we had within our company was unleash the power of people. It was giving them the ability to actually run with something and do something on their own. So immediately, we were able to really delegate things, and I was able to remove things that weren't really there. If you look at your life, and Brendon says this all the time, if I were to parachute into your life, into your world for a week, and what would your calendar look like? Yeah. Are you actually writing things down? Do you have a set time and regiment of that you're doing things?
Yeah, you're getting better at that. Yeah, and
totally.
We all are. And it's quality of time. Like you're spending more time working out, that's like mental health, physical health, not just work.
Time. Yeah, it's not just, you can't just be like, there's a lot of people doing busy work, but they're not getting themselves any closer.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily real work. And again, regarding the podcast, so we're now pumping out 2 a week. And what's great about it is if you pump out 2 podcasts a week and one doesn't record, then you've still got a backup, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So anyway, it's just something to keep in mind. Micromanagement. So this is a topic I posted, and I'll read you what I posted. I posted this to our StudioPTBO marketing hacks page and to LinkedIn, and it got a lot of traction. So it was simply this. If you bring someone on your team, don't micromanage them. Train them, yes, but then let them have at it after that. Hire not inferior people, but people that can be better than you. That will be good for you and your business, and it will help your retention rate. No one wants to stay at a place where they feel like a babysitter. So I posted that, and tons of engagement, and it's something that's kind of always been on my mind. A lot of people don't really write about it. A lot of people are scared of it. They live in fear of it, of working for someone like that or taking on a job where they think that person might be like that. And my theory on it is that micromanagers are literally wired that way, whether they're socialized that way or not. I think it's a horrible style of management. I think you're paralyzing someone to the point of inaction and affecting their mental health, productivity. What's your theory, though, on micromanagement? Do you think it stems from that, or are there other factors?
I think there's definitely other factors as well. I agree with what you're saying. I think that a lot of people that are in the workforce now, they look at millennials as like, oh, they don't have a hard work ethic. It's not that. It's just this idea that they have options. They have so many options and so many different things that they can do. But further, with like, not only do they have options, the other element, and I've seen this because I worked in such an amazing corporate environment that had systems and processes in place to essentially allow us to know what to do, how to do it, and really give us the tools necessary in order to complete the job with excellence. And that's really, I think, a lot of people micromanage because they don't have a system, they don't have a standard operating procedure for how things are done and how to get people from point A to point B to point C. And I think that's a really big issue because, I was actually on a call the other day with Stan, and he was talking about how he was working with an agency, and this agency didn't have any processes in place in their business. They didn't know how to get a client from point A to point B to point C, and the people were just slacking each other on Slack. So they have the communication rhythm, but they didn't have the process rhythm in the sense of like, it's like when we onboard a client, the client gets an email, and then the email goes to this. It's like you need that. Like it's so important, and it's like it's really taken me probably about 6 to 8 months to really help us create these processes inside the business that essentially allow us to now scale. Because when you have the system, you have the process, the person no longer feels like they're micromanaged because they have a system for how they actually are
of accountability, sort of.
It is accountability.
Exactly. And for context, so Stan, who Cody referred to, his name's Stan Way, and he's an online coach, and he's really been a mentor of Cody
100%.
over last year. Fabulous guy. You should check him out. What's his website again, Stan?
Peak Sales Results.
PeakSalesResults.com. And I think, again, if you hire inferior people, it's not just micromanage it. It does reflect an insecurity in your part. That has nothing to do with processes. It has to do with the psychology of how you've been trained.
And I think to add to that, I agree with you. And I think to add to that, people, if you don't have a system or a process, you're naturally going to hire inferior people.
True.
Because if you have the system and the process for this is how you want things done, that's great. But then beyond that, and I say this all the time, and I said this, that we had it's crazy because our video and Facebook ad team has literally doubled in the last 6 months.
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's literally doubled in the last 6 months. And I say on every single call with them, we start the call with, how's everyone doing? What can I do better? How can I support you? What are the jobs that we're working on right now? And then it's like, do any of these systems and processes not work?
Yeah.
Because if they don't work and you are having a hard time or you're tripping up, then I want you to help bring your knowledge that you have and your vision for, if you're brand new into the corporation. I want you to, and this is what I loved about working in the corporate world, because they were so open. Even though the system and process was there, they were so open to new ideas. And it's like, listen, this isn't working. Like we had a circumstance where.
So Cody's referring that he used to work for Best Buy for how many years?
10 years.
10 years, yeah. Whole decade there.
Yeah, and
and great culture there, right?
Amazing culture. And certain things weren't working, and they were open to, okay, let's try something new.
Right, and that's what we do here. We pivot quickly. Of course, it's easier for us because we're lean,
100%.
right? But it's harder, and kudos to them as that they scale. They're like hundreds of employees, and they're able to adapt on the fly. I want to give a shout out Connor Massimo regarding TikTok. He posted to our StudioPTBO Marketing Hacks group. This was yesterday. And he said, hey, everyone, don't sleep on TikTok.
I know.
I was a skeptic when Neil Morton started raving about it a few months ago, which I have been raving about to everyone. Yeah. If you have some interesting video content that may draw into your business, start putting it out there and see what happens. It's also a great way to drive new eyes to your flagship platforms, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. So Connor, folks, has 50,000 TikTok fans on his TikTok page, Pulse Physiotherapy. This is incredible, man. Like, this thing, again, I've been preaching this, and I'm going hard at it.
You've been really loud about it, and I really want to commend you for that. You've been louder than anyone in the studio, one of the loudest people about this platform, and Connor would have never had 50,000 followers on the platform had he not listened to how loud you were at the platform. And maybe you could tell people, because I don't know if we've talked about the stats as much. Maybe you can kind of give them an idea of like, is it aging up?
Yeah, absolutely. All the studies are showing, because everyone, again, at the beginning, we've talked about before, of any social media platform, that's just the kids are there. That's just youth. Why would I be there? That's what Facebook was. Zuckerberg built it that way. Instagram was originally teenagers. Twitter was a little older, but still, even that got a bit of flack, like, that's only millennials on there. Well, they all age up quickly, and TikTok is right now. I'm on there every day. I'm going hard at it, and of course I'm seeing youth there, but I'm seeing 20-somethings, 30-somethings, 40-somethings. I'm seeing boomers on there, all different sectors. People are crushing it, from real estate to design to finance, and all you be on there is authentic, like Connor is. In Connor's case, he's just taking you inside and showing you exercises and different movements. A movement for life is his tagline for his business, and it's not that different than on any other platform what you do. So I think people get intimidated by the platform, but it's not that different. But the organic reach is through the roof. That's what's different about it.
My biggest thing here with this platform, and you have to decide within your business what really based on manpower, are you able to actually, create content? And ideally you are, that you can batch process content, which is something that, I'm really working on as of late, and something we're doing on Wednesdays and Thursdays, recording podcasts. You can spend 2 hours a week on Sunday night and essentially come up with ideas.
Editorial calendar.
100%. Create content for the week.
Yeah.
My biggest thing with this, and why I'm so with you on the idea of you being so loud about this platform, it's free. It doesn't cost anything. Like, you can create content, you can put it out to the world, and it doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah.
You can use the right hashtags.
And you can hashtag to the sector you're going after, the area, the radius you're going after, and I'm watching it. To me, it's the most
TikTok is getting a lot more, I'm getting a lot more local
It's
stuff
micro. It's super micro and sophisticated. So whatever they're doing, it's working. And I have to add, with TikTok, we're using it internally to motivate people. We're going to be launching a StudioPTBO TikTok channel soon. But I motivate the staff here. Every 1,000 followers I have a Tiktok pizza party. It's
so much pizza.
It's fun. Yeah, I'm going to hopefully hit 3,000 next few weeks. We'll do another pizza party. But it's a real. I highly encourage people, get on now. Don't wait. It's a supply and demand game. The game's going to change, right? And it's the organic reach will not be through the roof in 6 to 12 months from now. So I'm crushing it. While 6 to 12 months. Yeah, I have a huge head start, like, on anyone who's not on there. And speaking of TikTok, so on March 18th, I'm going to be making a cameo appearance as part of a lunchbox learning at the Peterborough Chamber, and we're talking about TikTok. And kudos to the Chamber; they're on TikTok now. Tiffany's over there running the TikTok page, I believe.
They're doing some cool stuff on TikTok.
They are, and they're a content media marketing machine, and they're starting to dabble with TikTok. So this speaks volumes that, again, Peterborough Chamber, one of the most progressive, innovative chambers in Canada or anywhere, is holding lunchbox learning on TikTok. So here we are. It's here. You got to be there.
And if I can add something about TikTok, and I again don't post a crazy amount on TikTok. I post a lot on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. Not a crazy amount on TikTok, but if I can add something about TikTok, from a macro level, there are people that are literally taking their followers. This is what.
Yes, and leveraging them on other platforms.
So much about the platform is, like, people are blowing up on TikTok and then taking their followers over to YouTube and creating YouTube channels, or going to Facebook or Instagram. Like, the people that have blown up on TikTok are going over to Instagram, and like they're literally going from like 10,000 followers to like 1 million.
100%.
It's just like stupid. It's stupid. Like how much your brand equity. If you blow up on one platform, how you can take it to another platform.
Exactly. So do it now. I encourage you to do it now. Next topic I wanted to mention was Canoe Museum. Yeah. So this sort of talks. I think it was on your list, talking about, well, why do we do things in the community? Yeah. Why to get involved in the community?
Yeah.
And
you're on Canoe Museum. I'm on the chamber board.
Yeah. So Canoe Museum, I'm honorary chair of an event called Campfires and Cocktails, and it's taking place April 18th at the museum, and it's a fundraiser for public education and programming at the museum. It's a phenomenal facility, and they're building a new $65 million state-of-the-art facility on the banks of the Autonomy near historic Lifflock.
But cool.
Yeah, but the reason I do all that stuff is, A, it makes me feel great.
Yeah.
So, but I tell people, I did the United Way chair a few years ago, and I'm involved with all sorts of things from a micro, macro level, helping people. I do it because it makes me feel good. But of course, you always have altruistic and ulterior motives for doing something. And the more you give to community, the more you get back. And I think you'd agree with that. You're on the board of the chamber.
And I would totally agree. And my biggest thing is like, I'm learning this. I've learned this probably over the last 6 to 8 months about, because originally it was like, well, like it's going to take up so much of my time, yada, yada. It's like, well, if you do what Brendon says, and it's coming back to the beginning of the podcast, if you do what Brendon says and you automate, you delegate, and you remove tasks that aren't getting you any closer to your future vision, ideally joining a chamber board or, joining a board of any sort or
fundraising committee, like
that's all raising your public profile 100%. In the community, number one. And then number two, it's just good. It's good to give back.
Feels great.
It does.
Like I spent an hour, I think it was yesterday, with a design student from Humber College in Etobicoke, and I just gave her an hour of my time, and I'm like, I'm not getting anything out of it, but it makes me feel good to help this young woman who really reached out to us and wants to crush it and be an entrepreneur and get in the design world and figure out networking. And you never know, it might come around someday, but if it doesn't, who cares?
I think more than anything, it's reciprocity in regards to just being a good person. I think there's something to be said about that, about, things just come back tenfold. Like we started working with a new client that I see everywhere, and like, every time I see him, like, hey, how's it going? Like, he hasn't worked with us, but then he just decided to work with us yesterday. But like, again, like it's the constant getting your face out there.
Yeah,
I think that element is super important. I think it's super missed in this conversation, is like making sure that you're everywhere, and it's super interesting because we create so much content, and people are like, we see you everywhere. It's like, but we're not advertising anywhere other than social media. It's like, well, you see us everywhere because we are literally on every platform.
We're in your feed,
that you are using.
And that's where all attention is, on mobile. So I would say to people, don't go through life saying, what's in it for me? Yeah. You're not going to get anything out of it. If you evaluate everything on that criteria, I mean, I know within reason you have to pick and choose. Yeah. I know a lot of you have families and other responsibilities or coaching or whatnot, which is great into itself.
That coaching
is huge networking.
Totally, but not even networking. Yeah. That coaching is giving back.
Yeah.
It's like, just find a way that, find the thing that lights you up. Like, I chose the chamber board because I'm like, I want to give back to the business community. And once I understood on a deeper level everything that they do, I'm like, okay, I'm part of something much bigger than myself.
Yeah. So don't be all business all the time.
And again, maybe that's not for you, and that's okay. And if you don't want to give back, that's totally fine as well.
Cool. What else you got on your list?
Last thing I have is public speaking. We are going to be speaking. You're speaking at Lunchbox Learning.
Yeah, and actually I'm doing another one. It is March 11th, I believe, and it's a chamber event, Future Business Summit that they're holding, and I'm going to be speaking on the psychology of the sale.
I know,
which is going to be really awesome. Yeah, I'm super stoked for that. And then you and I are speaking.
We're speaking at a Toronto BIA conference in April. Before I head out to an agency conference in Mexico.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I'm speaking, you and I are speaking, you're going to be talking about the macro level of like social media, just everything that's happened in media, and I'll go a little bit deeper in the weeds on, targeting, retargeting, Facebook lead generation, how, BIAs can essentially, because I see a lot of BIAs around there, and I've kind of done a little bit of research.
And BIAs, by the way, are business downtown, business improvement associations in downtown. So it'll be from all over Ontario, right?
Yeah. So if you're coming to this conference, or if you know somebody that's going to this conference in April, have them hit us up. We would love the opportunity to chat with them. But really want to go deep into how, for example, I've seen a lot of business improvement areas around the Christmas time. They do their little thing. We could talk about how, what we really want to do is try to equip you to get more names, email addresses, and phone numbers so that you can have that ongoing communication with clients throughout the year. So it's not just one time throughout the year. It's like, how do you keep that conversation going? Because if you think about a business improvement association, their target audience is everyone in the area.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's like, how can you get them on an email list? How can you get them through text automation? So we really want to go through that as well.
And what we're doing with all these, so when I'm speaking the TikTok or speaking at Psychology of the Sale, or you and I are doing this together, Jair's coming with us to all that. So again, it's like leveraging, bring someone with you if you're speaking at an event to shoot on their iPhone or video, or if you have a
Photo.
professional videographer on. So Jared's filming that. Then we're going to leverage all that on social media, on all our
hire somebody
platforms.
for that specific event.
Yeah,
That's another
true.
thing you can do.
So we're not just missing that moment just by speaking to that captive audience of 12 people or 100 people. We're actually then going to share it to the masses, so to speak, right, on social.
And that's so great because I know Kat Howell. So we invested in a program with Kat Howell a while ago, and one of the things she says, she's like one of the most well-known Facebook ad specialists in the world. One of the things, and she's like one of our mentors. We're in her mastermind. One of the things she says is like whenever you're at an event, if you can think about how to build authority in the space, like whatever space you're in, the best thing you can do is either A, film yourself speaking to an audience, or B, just get a photo of you speaking with the audience. And then you can use that as leverage in the online space.
Yeah, it gives you credibility.
Totally it does.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people miss that. They miss the idea that, okay, so if I get a photo of myself speaking in front of people, and we do this with Bob Grover all the time, get a photo, and then we can use it as a remarketing tool.
Yeah, totally.
So
yeah.
it's something that was really good. Public speaking also, whenever we public
There's always
speak,
ROI. Always get a couple
ROI.
of clients out of it. And I just
Yeah.
love public speaking and helping people. And I didn't the first time I did it. And people say, well, I don't want to do it, Neil, because I'm too nervous. Well, you won't. If you have subject expertise in your area and you're good at normal networking events, just stand on stage and pretend you're having a conversation with people and leave
Don't
leave
speak about shit you don't know.
Yeah,
about. If
stay
you
in your
speak
lane.
about the things that you know about, you're fine.
Stay in your lane, man. Yeah. And if any of you have any questions, fodder for stuff we can cover on the podcast, make sure to reach out to us on the Studio PTBO Marketing Hacks page.
Or info@StudioPTBO.com.
Email us. Yep.
Email us at info@StudioPTBO.com.
And we'll address it on,
we'll address anything. Like Kevin, the other, probably about a month ago.
Yep, the student. We did a
student.
whole episode on whether he should stay in school or not, and he got a lot of value on that.
Yeah, I
He
think
stayed in
did.
school.
He did stay in school.
He emailed us back and said he stayed in school. He's going to build his side hustles more and his
100%.
social media game. So
So we want to answer any questions. So if you're in the Studio PTBO Marketing Hacks group and you're watching this, or you're watching this on Studio PTBO, or maybe you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, send an email to info@StudioPTBO with any of your questions. We will be filming a podcast every Wednesday and every Thursday, and we really want to provide massive value to the community. Neil, thank you so much.
Yeah, this is great,
for,
man.
Hopping into the studio.
yeah, it was a
again
good
with me today.
recording today.
Yeah. And if you're not in the Studio PTBO Marketing Hacks group, I highly, highly recommend it. If you are a marketing rep, if you are a business owner, if you work for a business owner, and you really want to learn more about how to grow and build your business in the online space, so we would love to have you inside the Studio PTBO Marketing Hacks group. It's full of entrepreneurs and marketing reps that are just looking to really grow in the online space, looking for tools, tactics. Every once in a while, we'll go live in the actual Studio PTBO Marketing Hacks group. There's resources inside of there. We do training. So really would love to have you inside of the Studio PTBO Marketing Hacks group. Thank you, Neil, for talking about all of this stuff today with me. And we'll be back next Wednesday and Thursday not next Wednesday. Next Thursday, we're doing a podcast. Next Wednesday, we're busy doing something.
Yep.
Next Thursday, we'll be back doing a podcast. And thank you so much for tuning into the Studio PTBO podcast. We will see you soon.